Hello everyone, I'm Jester, and welcome back to another episode of the Darrell Brooks saga. And today we're going to continue with the victim's witness and how Mr. Unknown Individual deals with that. So prepared for it to be. I hate this guy. Let's just get into the video. And thank you for subscribing. I was watching the. We passed over 300 and it's incredible. Thank you so much. But let's go to the video. Look at that. That paper is drier than the Sahara. You're not crying, dude. There's no tears there. No tears at all.
What was your job title during the 2021-2022 academic year?
I was the director of bands at Waukesha South High School.
Can you tell us what happened while your band was marching between Barstow and approaching Gasper Street?
At first I thought there was an emergency vehicle or something. I could tell there was some sort of a vehicle trying to get through. And then I started just seeing things flying in the air, and I realized this was not a vehicle waiting for people to move out of the way. I realized this vehicle was running over people. The students around me, we all kind of dispersed at the same time. I thought in the initial moments that it was an accident, but then as I turned and the car went immediately past me, and I could see that the driver was staring straight ahead and knew that, could have clearly seen that they were running over people.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you reviewed this video before your testimony today?
Yes, I have.
Does it accurately depict what happened to your band the
Yes, it
afternoon of the
does.
parade? Move Exhibit 24 into evidence and ask to publish.
Any position, Mr. Brooks?
Objection. If the witness has seen this video before, how would that corroborate with the testimony?
Your objection is noted. It's overruled.
I'll just say this. I'm really glad that they don't show the videos. I never seen the raw videos of what happened, and I don't want to. I don't need to. No expression, no pain, no tears. He's not himself, so he doesn't care.
All right, let's pull it up again and set the speed to 50%.
Objection. What is the relevancy of playing it at slower speed?
Your objection's noted. It's overruled. Permission granted.
See, if you feel
Does this
something.
video depict the same marching band in the same area of Main Street on November 21st?
It does.
I'd move Exhibit 23 into evidence and ask to publish.
Any position, Mr. Brooks?
Objection.
He's almost mad. He has this thing on his face.
Do you see yourself on the screen?
I do.
So that's a touch screen in front of you. Would you mind drawing a circle around yourself?
Okay.
All right. Move Exhibit 22 into evidence and ask to publish.
Mr. Brooks, any
Objection.
position?
Objection.
To what? Cry or something. Fake cry.
You eventually went back to school after that Sunday, the 21st, is that right?
That is correct.
And in the days that followed, kids
Yes.
came back to school.
They did, yes.
And you had personal interaction with the members of your marching band?
Yes, I did.
Your objection's noted. It's overruled.
Watch this.
How many of those 10 members of your marching band were either struck or run over by the red SUV?
They all were.
We saw in the video what the lighting conditions were, but could you describe from your own memory what the lighting was like that day?
Objection. Irrelevant.
Overruled. You may answer.
The lights were beginning, the sun was beginning to set. However, we were in an area where we were by lots of stores, so the sun was still out as well as the light coming from all the storefronts.
Can we project on the screen for the witness only, exhibit number 120? Do you see an image on the screen in front of you?
Yes, I do.
Is that image an accurate representation of what the driver of the SUV looked like that day when you saw him?
Completely, yes.
I'd move exhibit 120 into evidence and ask to publish.
120 is received. Permission to publish is granted. May have been received earlier.
Yeah, it's already been received.
Yeah.
I believe you testified a little bit earlier about the driver's demeanor as you observed him. Could you go into more detail about that?
Straight ahead.
Overruled. She may answer.
So originally my perception just had been that I assumed there was an accident because I could not imagine anything else. But when the car went past me, my perception changed of what was happening completely, because the driver was looking straight ahead, looked very attentive at that point. So the driver clearly was aware that he had hit and run over all of these people. It was not something that could have happened without the driver's awareness. We were also coming up on an intersection of a cross street. And although there was a crowd on the side, again, this is just my perception, but if the driver had been trying to escape the parade route so they were no longer hitting people, I felt like an instinct would have caused the head to turn to see if there was a way out on that side street. But the driver's head never turned looking for a way out of the parade route at that moment. And that's what caused my perception of what was going on that day to change.
All right, court's going to take a break before we do cross-exam. All right, we are back on the record. Appearances are as they were before. We'll bring the jury out for cross. Go ahead.
Can we address the subject matter jurisdiction, please?
No, not right now.
No.
Is that a judicial determination, Your Honor?
Yes.
You mentioned earlier in testimony that that there was a side street where there could have been an exit out of the parade route
Correct.
provided. Is that fair to say?
That is fair to say, yes.
Do you recall if that side street was barricaded in any way?
I do not recall.
Doesn't matter.
From what you recall, can you estimate the speed of the vehicle that you saw that day?
I'm not good at estimating speeds, but it felt fast as it went past me. It felt like it was accelerating.
And you stated you was relatively
ask
close to the vehicle when it passed you.
Yes, I was.
Were you injured in any way?
I was not. Fortunately, I moved just in time.
Were you able to get a license plate number of the vehicle?
I was not.
Why does that matter?
Did you notice any tinted windows to the vehicle?
It's 11 months ago, but I believe there were in the back, but I don't want to say yes or no for sure on that.
Did you see anyone else in the vehicle?
I did not.
It doesn't matter.
Could you see the back seats of the vehicle?
There's a
I
picture
did not look at the back seats.
of you.
Could you see the passenger seat of the vehicle?
I could.
Do you recall anyone being in the passenger
I
seat?
did not see anyone in the passenger seat.
From your opinion, you think you would have been able to hear a horn?
I believe I would have.
Even at the same time listening for the band notes, as you say, you have to give them feedback when you got back to school?
Because that would have been an unexpected sound, so that would have been something that would have stood out in my
It would have
memory.
been something that draws your attention.
Exactly.
So in your opinion, do you estimate it would have been hard to hear any screaming or anything of that nature?
We started, as soon as the screaming started, we did hear that immediately.
Yeah, that's
Because
stands
as soon
out.
as the screaming started, the students stopped playing, and so that loudness.
1 second.
I'm sorry.
No,
Do you recall how long you had been actively participating in the parade at the time of the incident?
I marched in that parade in high school myself, so I've attended on the years that I was not teaching, so it's probably my 40th time plus at that parade.
I think you probably misunderstood.
Okay.
Well, that was still. I don't have to ask that question.
What?
I was referring to how long you had been marching at
Oh,
that.
at that time, we had been going for about 4 blocks. We were about at the halfway point of the parade route.
Did you notice anything amiss up until that point?
Up until that point, no.
You stated in your report that you were walking backwards facing the students.
No, I was walking forward because the students near me were walking backwards. So I was the eyes in front for the students who were marching backwards.
So is it possible the report could have misquoted what you said?
I have not seen the report.
The report that I have would be page 2.
She doesn't have it.
I don't have that in front of me.
To your recollection, would you have left out any details in your report?
No.
Were you able to see any license plate number on
She
the
already
vehicle?
asked
I
that.
was not.
Did you recall the news reporting how many people may have been hurt?
Yes.
From which you recall and observed, do you think that those said news reports were accurate? Grounds.
Sustained. It's not relevant.
You start hearing just some people yelling, "Stop that car," and the next thing you know, from my left, going down the road, you see a red SUV just go straight through the parade. And where we were sitting at that time was the Waukesha South Band, and just drove right through Waukesha South Band and just continued going.
Did you see any people being struck by the SUV?
Yes.
Did you see any objects flying in the air?
I didn't see any objects flying in the air. I saw the red SUV going over people.
Okay, can you
Jesus
describe that
Christ.
for us, please?
Yeah, so the band had just passed us, red SUV going, again, this is just an estimate, maybe 30, 40 miles an hour, just went straight over the Waukesha South Band, and it's not like it stopped. I mean, it went over. I saw the red SUV. It looked like it went in the air, like over a pretty big object, and it just was like a big old speed bump and kept going.
Okay. You saw that from your position on the side of the road?
Yes.
Prior to the SUV hitting the students in the band, did you hear the horn on the vehicle honking at all?
I did not.
You see the video that's showing on your screen in front of you, sir?
Yes.
Is this a video that you've seen before?
Yes, it is.
And do you believe this is a true and accurate representation of the events as you saw them on November 21 of 2021?
Yes.
Like to admit number 25 and permission to play it for the jury?
Mr. Brooks?
Objection is hearsay. How is everybody seeing the videos before seeing them now?
How is that hearsay?
You can ask that on cross-exam, sir.
I'd ask if you could point out for the jury the approximate area where you and your family were stationed.
Somewhere over here.
Okay. We're going to go ahead and play this with volume, please.
Oh God. Ah, thank you for not showing it. Thank you. No emotion. No sadness. Not even a little.
So play it at half speed, please.
Oh. Please.
You described on your direct testimony the seeing the car look like it was going over speed bumps. Is that right?
Yes.
Is that what's shown in this exhibit number 25?
Yes.
In fact, it was going over people, not speed bumps.
Correct. Yes.
Do you recall being interviewed by a Detective Carpenter on November 24th of 2021?
I do remember being interviewed by a detective, yes.
Any idea why it took a few days for you to be interviewed?
Just the nature of the incident. I'm sure they had a lot to get through.
Yes, a lot.
You did state that you didn't get a description of the driver, correct?
Yes,
Did you get a license plate number?
I did not.
Do you recall if there was any tint on the vehicle that you saw?
Not in the front, no.
What do you mean by not in the front?
I did not see any tint on the front windows or the passenger side window. From what I could remember, there was tint on the back windows.
So it would be fair to say that you couldn't see into the back of the vehicle, correct?
Correct.
Doesn't matter.
Do you recall how many occupants were in the vehicle?
Yes.
Even though you couldn't see the entire inside of the vehicle?
Yes.
At what point did you see the vehicle slow down?
When
As it
was
went over Waukesha Southbound.
hitting something usually makes your car go slower.
And what did the vehicle do after that?
It sped up.
Do you recall describing the acceleration as rapid?
Yes.
Would you say that the video that we just saw depicts a rapid acceleration?
Yes.
Do you recall stating that it seems as if the driver of the vehicle was hitting the gas as hard as he could?
Yes.
And how would you be able to tell that?
The nature of a vehicle going over people, you would think that the gas pedal would not be pushed as you're going over people.
Yeah.
And as the car continued, the red SUV continued went over the Waukesha South band and continued to accelerate, I could only imagine that the gas pedal was being pushed very hard after just going over people.
So you were making an assumption. Would that be fair to say?
It's a guess, yes.
I wouldn't say it was an assumption, just from driving a vehicle.
Context.
Knowing what happens when you go over a large object, it typically slows the car down. And in order to speed it back up, the only thing that you can do is hit the gas pedal.
You can hit the gas pedal, or would you hit the gas pedal as hard as you could?
Oh,
From what I remembered, it looked like the gas pedal was being hit hard. The vehicle accelerated very quickly.
Would it be fair to say that you would have to be present in the vehicle to tell if the gas pedal was pushed
no.
hard, extremely hard, as you said?
No, you don't.
Or as hard as
No,
you could?
No.
no.
You would be able to tell that from an outside observation?
Yes,
Yes.
of course.
Did you observe the route of the vehicle after? Well, the video shows you kind of go off the screen, and did you observe where the vehicle went at that point?
Yes.
Did it continue straight, or did it turn?
Continue down the parade route.
Do you recall seeing any brake lights?
No.
Even when it briefly slowed down?
It wasn't because you
That
were
would be correct.
It was because of the bodies, not because
So would it be fair to
slow
say
down.
that in order to slow a vehicle down, you have to brake?
No,
Not necessarily.
And what is the necessarily?
Hitting something or going over something naturally will slow a vehicle down.
yes.
Can you pull up Exhibit 25 again? Pause right there. From your perspective, is the sound that you just heard, could that have been a horn?
Could we replay it?
Are you able to answer just based on what you heard?
No.
You did state that you didn't hear any horn, correct?
Correct.
It would be fair to say that it was pretty loud at that point in the parade, correct?
Yeah.
Do you think the noise would have impaired your hearing in any way at that point in time?
Not for a horn.
No.
Is it possible that a horn could have been beat that you didn't hear?
Speculation.
No. Horns are pretty loud. It would have been heard.
Yes.
Even over all the noise of the parade and the band and the people and you would have been able to clearly hear?
Yes.
Do you recall what you saw the driver doing at the time that it passed the area that you were seated at?
Driving the car. That's the
Did
best
you
answer.
observe any other actions by the driver?
No. Just focused on the road that was ahead of him.
And there's nothing about the description that stood out to you or caught your eye that maybe you could recall?
In regards to what?
The description of the driver.
I could tell there was one person in the car. I could see it. They were wearing some sort of hat or sweatshirt. That was about it.
And after the vehicle passed where you were seated at, and about how long did you stay at the parade after what you saw?
Relevance.
I wouldn't be able to remember that.
Did you attempt to help anyone injured or check for your family here?
At that point, when I started running back, there were a lot of bodies on the ground. And from the looks of it, there was already people helping them. So my next reaction was get back to my family.
So with all the people that appeared to be injured, you didn't stop to render any aid to any one of them?
Objection, argumentative, Your Honor.
Grounds.
Sustained. Next question, please.
Grounds.
Did you see any news reports about the incident once you got your family home?
We don't really watch news to begin with, but this just kind of made that a little bit more, that we didn't turn the TV on, so we did not watch much news.
I do that as well. I never watch
And you
news.
yourself didn't file a claim in this matter, did you?
Objection, relevance.
Grounds.
If you can be a little more specific, if you mean a claim related to any.
Stop helping him.
Related to the parade.
Did you make a claim of being an injured party, or did anybody in your family make a claim of being an injured party?
No.
Whom were you contacted by about being a witness in this matter?
I wouldn't know. The Waukesha District Attorney.
Let the record reflect that the witness made a hand gesture towards the prosecution table.
Yes.
The record will so reflect.
Thank you.
It would be fair to say that you were contacted about testifying in this matter directly from the Waukesha District Attorney's Office?
Yes.
Do you know who the plaintiff is in this matter here?
Here we go.
Relevant.
Grounds.
Not relevant.
Please
Sustained.
stop it.
Next question.
Please.
Are you aware of any injured party or plaintiff in this matter?
I am not.
You are not?
That's correct.
Have you read or seen any complaint besides your own in this matter?
You mean a statement or do you mean a criminal complaint?
A complaint, any complaint?
Any.
Object to vagueness
Yeah.
and relevance.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Every time that they ask him for clarifications, he just puts a blanket over all
Have
of it.
you
At any
seen
time.
any other statements by any parties other than yourself in relation to this incident?
Vague.
No.
Are you the only person present from your family that made a statement or a report?
Objection, relevance.
Grounds.
Overruled.
His family
He may,
was there.
overruled. He may answer if anyone else in his family provided a statement.
No, they did not.
You stated earlier that it was difficult. Well, you stated that you don't really watch the news to begin with, but the incident made it more difficult to do that, correct?
Yes.
A little bit, yes.
You don't want to see that.
Would that be said of your family as well?
Yes.
So there was some type of impact
In regards to what?
in regards to being present at the parade.
Oh my God.
Yes, there was a huge emotional impact on our family.
Yes.
Do you know of any reason why no one besides yourself made a report?
Objection, argumentative.
Grounds.
Irrelevant.
Sustained.
Grounds.
Next question.
So as far as you know, you've never seen or interacted with the plaintiff in this matter.
Objection.
Grounds.
Irrelevant.
Grounds.
Sustained. Under 90611, new
Move
topic,
on.
please. One not already covered.
From where you were seated, were you seated to where there were people standing in front of where you were seated?
Yes. My family.
It would be fair to say from the video that there were quite a few people standing in the general area where you were seated at. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
Yes, most of the people in front of me were kids, so they were littler than me.
Did you observe any one of those kids being struck?
Just the band members.
So it'd be fair to say that the vehicle did not strike anybody that was seated on the curb right there where you were at.
Specifically right where I was at, no.
Just the band.
After observing people struck, in your opinion, how did the vehicle miss the people that were seated directly in front of you?
Objection, beyond
Grounds.
You can only hit so many
beyond
people.
scope of
Grounds.
knowledge and irrelevant.
Grounds.
Mr. Brooks, let her state her objection without interruption. The objection is sustained. Next question.
He's asking why I didn't
So
hit
would
all
it be
of
fair
them.
to say that the only people you observed being struck was the Waukesha South Band?
Yes.
Approximately how many people would you say by estimate?
Waukesha South's band is a pretty large band, and the red SUV went right through it. If I had to estimate 10, maybe 15, I wouldn't know the exact number that were struck by the SUV.
Would it be fair to say that number is fairly low to
No.
all the people that
One
were in
is
the
too
area
much.
at the time?
No.
Argumentative, Your Honor.
Grounds.
What kind of question is that?
Sustained as to the form of the question. Mr. Brooks, next question.
Would it, next question or rephrase?
Next question.
No, I sustained it. You can ask your next question.
Would you identify yourself as an injured party in this matter?
Objection, asked
You
and
already asked
answered.
that.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Would you identify as an injured party in this matter?
Objection.
Grounds.
Same question.
Sustained. Asked and answered.
We do need a brief discussion outside the presence of the jury before our next witness, Your Honor.
Okay, very well. I'll excuse the jury. I'll rise for the jury.
The next witness is Thomas Green.
All right, we're gonna leave it like so far. These two witnesses were just corroborating what was stated before, that he didn't care about like running over people. Like he just went straight ahead. You can tell in his eyes. Look at his eyes. Go back on the video and look at his eyes when he's watching the video. There's no emotion in those eyes. He was just staring at the video. And I mean, even I have nothing to do with the situation. I have nothing to do with that. But as a human being, I feel bad for those people, and it makes my stomach feel bad just watching that. And he has no emotion, even though he did that. So it's still a disgusting human being, and I'm sorry. I just can't stand him. But yeah, we're gonna come back tomorrow to finish the last part of day 3. Give it a like if you make it this far. Really helps out the channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.